Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Steph from the Hot Moving Podcast. Finally gonna get to this, man. So, I'm a Steelers fan, and hearing the news of Mike Tomlin deciding to come back, I'm not surprised, right? I mean, I don't think the only person that was gonna be in control of Mike Tomlin not coming back was gonna be Mike Tomlin himself. Okay, and then let's be real here. Mike Tomlin is one of the highest paid coaches in the NFL, making about $12 million a year. Like, he's not walking away from that. Okay, from a business standpoint, financial standpoint, like people walking away. I mean, I know he's made a lot of money in his career, but you can never make too much money. Okay, so I understand that that aspect. Now, for the Roonies and whatnot, like they weren't gonna fire him. Okay, I mean, I heard Richard Sherman's take on Mike Tomlin, coming back, and you was talking about some rumors. This Mike Tomlin never said. Well, a lot of people will never say what they're actually going to do, and then they actually do something different, right? And those rumors were rumbling. Rumors just don't come from anywhere. I always believe that when there's speculation, speculation can be wrong, but but usually when that happens, there's like reports later on. How many times where the media was wrong on the speculation, but it come reports where it's like, but this was happening. The conversation behind the scenes, it was very close. The decisions was being thought about, and then eventually everybody came to the senses and then went with the decision that was different what the media expected, right? So I'm not, Richard Sherman was defending Tomlin, saying like, he's going to be doing what he's been doing the last 16 years, right? Coaching the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, cool. And I respect Sherman's point on what he said about like, he's took us to the playoffs with a roster that hasn't been the best, and I understand that, right? But part of us not having a good roster is the fact that we are finishing middle of the pack all the time, and getting rid of Tomlin, I keep saying this, I'm not saying Tomlin's a bad coach. You know what I'm saying? When Tomlin leaves, I will be sad, right? I will be sad. I admit that. I will admit that. I will be hurt when Tomlin, if Tomlin left. But in that process of healing, we start fresh, right? We, offload, trade players, whatever it is, have a below subpar season, be in a higher draft pick, start getting that upper echelon of talent in the draft pick instead of trying to find gem after gem in the lower second and third rounds and fourth. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's my whole thing, right? And I think Tom will be a good coach for a team that, has a good quarterback, or looking for a coach to install, his vision, his philosophies, organization that needs structure and whatnot. He can take the things he's learned at Pittsburgh and build, or go to a team that's ready made. And, they need a coach to kind of just tighten some things up on the defensive side while also leading the overall football operations, right? That's good for Tomlin. For us, Tomlin's been there for almost 20 years, and I just think it's time for him to go. It's just time for a new voice, time for a rebuild in Pittsburgh. Now, I will say this, like, look, I didn't have a lot of faith in the Steelers going to Buffalo and competing the way they did. So I was very impressed with that, right? But I didn't expect anything less from Mike Tomlin, though. I expect him to have his guys ready and not get completely embarrassed when I thought it was teetering that way. But they showed up and they played hard. Even though Rudolph had that red zone interception, I'm not gonna get Rudolph is Rudolph. I can't grill him, right? Even Sherman said it was like, Rudolph, and I agree. Like, he ain't starting he's not starting in the NFL, period. Okay, it's just by chance we went through so many injuries, stuff like that. So, I respect Mike Tomlin. I appreciate everything he's done. I just think him coming back for this season, I have no expectations of this team. We finished again 9-8. 10-7 in a very tough division. And then, first round, if we make it to the playoffs, we get bounced, right? Kenny Pickett, I don't see Kenny Pickett taking this big leap. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we don't have a name brand offensive coordinators in-house. I don't see that a play caller coming in being a dynamic play caller. You know what I'm saying? Really creating some exotic offensive schemes. We're just going to play hard football, run the ball. The bright spot this season was we utilized Warren a lot, which was really cool. Could we do something with that in Najee Harris and have a really just run-based offense with those two guys? I hope. But then George Pickens, Pickens, is he going to be happy not getting as many touches if we're going to be a run-centric offense, right, to compete next year with the upper talent? So more the same. I expect what would happen this year, the same result, and that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Steelers fans can get mad, but I know there's a lot of Steelers fans that agree with me too. You know, so again, this ain't a Mike Tomlin bashing situation, because every Steelers fan respects what he's done. But there's a large segment of us that feel like it's just time for a new voice. And for that new voice doesn't mean that Mike Tomlin's a bad coach. Yeah, right? It's just that we are tired of finishing middle of the pack. And we need a different thing, a different change to shake things up. And the Roonies aren't going to do that, so it'd been good if Tomlin did step away, but I understand he ain't walking from $12 million, right? Ain't nobody really doing that, okay? And he got his team to the playoffs, so I'm not knocking Tomlin for wanting to come back, you know? So all we hope for is the same thing, and then are they going to extend Tomlin? If they extend Tomlin, then we're going to have a prolonged period of not having a losing season, but not having a top draft pick to get that upper echelon talent, to especially in the quarterback spot, which is more important, because Kenny Pickett, he's never going to be the answer for us. So anyways, guys, that's my rant on that, man. But thanks for listening. Please like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts. I'm out.